Hi guys, Jenny here for another week of mobility and more. So this week we are going to be going through our dynamic warm-up to start out, and then we're going to do mobility at each joint section. So we're going to make our way up from the ground all the way up to our upper body. So starting with our ankles, knees, hips, spine, shoulders, and then our scapulas as well. And then we're going to end it with a little bit of balance. So that's what we have planned for today. So let's go ahead. A couple things you may need. You're going to need a mat or something to lay on, and then maybe like a jump rope, a band, something to help, PVC pipe, and then just a little bit of a step for our knee mobility. So that is what you're going to need today. So let's go ahead and get started now with our dynamic warm-up. So first thing here for our dynamic warm-up, we're just going to start in with those arm circles. Again, we're just slowly warming up that body, getting ready to move through all of these movements. And we want to make sure that we are properly warmed up. And that always involves action and movement, going through full range of motion. We never want to static stretch to start out. So we're just going here, full range of motion, arm circles in the forward direction. We're going to switch it up to go reverse arm circles here. Still going through that full range of motion. Again, this doesn't need to be a quick movement, it's just going at your own pace, but we're trying to go through as much range of motion as we can. Alright, we're going to go ahead and switch it up here to trunk twist. So, rotating side to side, loosening up that lower back, rotating fully as much as you can. Doesn't need to be sharp movements, just nice and controlled, going back and forth here. All right, continuing on, going down, we're going to do our hip circles. So lower half stays still, your upper body is just moving around your hips. So moving forward, hinging over at those hips, going to the side, leaning back behind you. So we're just doing some hip circles here. Moving our way down the body through this warm-up. Go ahead, same thing, reverse the direction. Going opposite way here, hinging over at those hips, leaning to sides, and in the back. So just loosening it up, getting ready to go. All right, moving our way down, going through these knee circles here. Rotating one direction, and then we will switch it up. So again, just warming up that body, getting ready to go for our mobility here. And go to the opposite direction now, just drawing a circle. Not putting too much pressure on your knees here. My hands really aren't resting a whole lot, they're just there to guide my knees in the right direction. All right, moving our way down to ankles, so go ahead. Put one toe down, or one side down, rolling it one direction. Again, just trying to loosen it up. Doesn't have to be too strenuous here. Just trying to get all those joints ready to work. Go ahead, switch that direction, same foot. All right, moving it to the other leg here. Just doing some circles, rotating that ankle through as much range of motion here as we can. Go ahead, switch it to the opposite direction. All right, moving into some windmills. First windmill, feet are separated, arms are out to the side, reaching opposite hand down to your foot. You're tapping that foot and standing it all the way back upright in between each one. So make sure you're alternating each time you go down. And again, standing all the way upright. Good, just like that, feeling that stretch in your hamstrings. But again, we're not static stretching, we're not holding this. We want to make sure we're moving through this movement the entire time. Go ahead, get one more on each foot. And then we're going to transition into more of a dynamic, even more dynamic of a windmill. So still touching opposite hand to opposite foot. You should be able to kind of lunge from side to side with this movement, feeling that stretch a little bit deeper into the inside of your legs, but still making sure we twist fully with the upper body to get that warmed up as well. So windmill number 2 looks pretty similar, but you should deepen that stretch now to the inside of your leg and still opening up for that back. Rotating side to side. You don't have to tap your feet here. You're just rotating right over and through that foot. All right, one more each side. Okay, we're gonna grab that rope, PVC pipe, whatever you have. I have a jump rope. Honestly, it can be anything that has just a little bit of tension here. We're gonna start with going over our head. So it's gonna be wider than shoulder width, as you can see here. The harder, if that's super easy, it does get harder the closer you put your hands. But I suggest for just warming up, going with a wider grip here than your shoulders. So you're just gonna bring that rope or whatever you have up over your head, bringing it all the way back around to your back, and we're just rotating over that head. So we're going through full range of motion here. Again, the wider you can hold that grip, the easier it's going to be, the less range of motion you have to go through. If you're not able to get it all the way to the back, then go ahead and just go as far as you can and then bring it back to the start. So again, I just want you to try to go through that full range of motion, whatever that is for you. We're just gonna go back and forth here to start us out. Again, just getting those arms ready to go for this mobility exercise that we're gonna be doing today. Go ahead and get one more here. All right, now we're gonna switch it up, still sticking with the rope, still having that large or wider grip here. And we're gonna be going around the world. So we're gonna have one arm down towards our hip, the other arm is gonna come up towards our head. As it comes around, it's going back behind my head. My arms are gonna even out here, and then my other arm is now gonna come up as the other arm comes down. So we're just making that rotation here, trying to do it in one fluid motion. Again, you're only going as far as your arms will allow you through this range of motion. So we're nice and controlled through this. It doesn't need to be anything super quick. Just slowly going through that range of motion, doing different activities to get us there. Nice job. Try not to rotate that body too much. Really allow the shoulders to go through that full range of motion without compensating. All right, so we're gonna do that same motion now, but we're gonna be going through the opposite direction. So the arm that originally started up here is gonna be down towards your hip. Other arm is up, evening out those arms and bringing it back around the head. So again, this is the same exact motion we just did, but we're doing it in the reverse order. So still going through that full range of motion. Hopefully by now it's a little bit easier. You can go a little bit deeper into this range of motion. If not, you're still just going through this motion where you are capable. So nice and controlled through this. Not too hard, not strenuous. Awesome job. Let's go ahead and get one more here. All right, going into our next part for dynamic warm-up, we are going to do this. The world's greatest stretch. So we're going to step forward here into a low lunge. We're going to then open up our arm here to the side. You should feel this stretch in your glutes. Once you get there, you're bringing that arm back down and opening it up towards the other side. You should now feel this deeper into your hip flexor, bringing it back down, and then stepping back with the front foot now. So your opposite foot is in front, going down to that low lunge, reaching opposite arm, rotating through towards that armpit, and reaching up the other arm. Again, this is all moving, so we're not holding the stretch for too long. Once we get there, we're just opening up enough on both sides to take a deep breath and to return back to that start. So we're going through this at our own pace, and we're always alternating between which leg is in front, and we're always looking through both armpits here. So going through this world's greatest stretch. Again, we're not trying to hold this for too long. We're just trying to move through it. So feeling it in your glutes, feeling it in your hip flexor. We're going to go ahead and get one more on each side here, or on each leg, I should say. So finishing it out on the left side, and then finishing it out on the right side. Moving into our next part of this dynamic warm-up, we're going to be going through our inchworms. So again, not holding any position for too long. We're going to start here by reaching up overhead. As we do that, we're going to come down, sweep past our feet, and walk it out into this plank. Once we're there, we're walking it straight back up to the start, reaching up overhead. So just going through this motion. Again, you're sweeping past your feet. You're not stopping there. Hold that plank for a good deep breath before returning back, arms overhead. So you should feel this in the hamstrings as you reach down to the ground. But again, you're not stopping there for that stretch. You're moving straight through it. Want to stay active through this dynamic warm-up. Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and get one more inchworm in here to finish out our dynamic warm-up. Reaching all the way up overhead here. Okay, so like I mentioned, we are going to be starting here at the ankles, moving our way up through the joints. So first thing we're going to do for our ankles here to get them ready to go is we are going to draw the alphabet with our feet. So what I want you to do, your feet will be moving at the same time, and you're just going to draw out the letters. Easier to see without my shoes on. You're just going to draw out the letters here. We're going to start with uppercase letters. So you're just going to take those feet to point them down and draw that A. Then you're going to move to the B, going to C, D, all the way through the alphabet. So again, you're starting with these uppercase letters. So I went to D, now I'm going to E. So again, you're going at your own pace here, and you're just drawing the alphabet, trying to move those feet or those ankles as much as you can through this range of motion. So again, M and N here, you're pointing and flexing all the way. O, you're drawing those circles. So again, you're just going through full range of motion for all of these letters, starting with the uppercase letters. This is also a good strengthening exercise for your ankles, as well as going through this range of motion. So once we have drawn through the uppercase, I want you to do the same thing now, drawing lowercase letters. So again, different movement patterns here since uppercase and lowercase look a little bit different. So you're drawing those letters, going through lowercase now. So just slowly going through at your own pace, trying to make sure those ankles go as much through that range of motion. So making sure they come all the way up, all the way down, going through those circles, depending on what letter you are drawing. But again, we're going through the entire alphabet here, uppercase and now lowercase. X, I'm at Y and Z. So again, we went through those uppercase and lowercase, and then you can also do this two to three times through. So we're just going to do it 2 times through. So we're going to start back here with uppercase, going through all of these letters one more time. So uppercase again, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Again, going through full range of motion. Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. So we've gone through it 2 times uppercase. Now we're going to go through one more time here for lowercase. Again, you can go through this up to 3 times. It's good to strengthen those ankles, but it also is good because we're going through that full range of motion. So again, focusing in on drawing those letters intentionally, trying to make sure they look like that and going through as much range of motion as you can. So I'm going through lowercase now. J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. So we did uppercase, lowercase 2 times here. And now we want to make sure, another important thing with mobility with the ankles is sometimes it's because of a tightness further up the leg. So because of that, we're going to stretch out those calf muscles. So first thing we're going to do here is kind of go into that downward dog. And I want you to press both of those heels down as far as you can. I'll turn this way so you can see what I'm doing. So you're just pressing those heels down as far as you can in that downward dog position. So you should be able to feel the stretch in your calves here. Alright, so after we've done that, I want you to go ahead and just do one calf this time. So one leg is bent, not really doing anything here. The other one's still straight like we were before, trying to reach down that heel, trying to get that calf stretched out. Go ahead, switch it to the opposite one. So again, just one calf working here at a time, being stretched. Continuing on through this, just alternating back and forth, trying to loosen up that calf muscle, because again, sometimes we don't have that mobility in our ankles just because of things that are going on the top part of our legs, starting with the calves being tight. Alright, so we've kind of stretched out our calves. Now we're going to be moving over to the wall for our next calf or our next ankle mobility. So I'm going to pause this here and I'm going to move myself over to the wall.